As contemporary film viewers, we are familiar with montage sequences in films. Montage is an editing style that cuts together a sequence of shots that are independent from each other in order to emphasize the breaks and contrasts between images. It can be used to establish the setting of a scene, to create a sense of chaos or mental confusion, or to speed up the pace of a sequence, etc. It was developed in the 1920s by a Soviet filmmaker, Sergei Eisenstein. Eisenstein applied his theory of montage to communist propaganda films he made. Today, we're going to talk about how Eisenstein uses montage in his film Battleship Potemkin. Battleship Potemkin is a silent propaganda film made in 1925 as a tribute to the failed 1905 Russian Revolution. The film is about how the Russian sailors on Battleship Potemkin start a revolution against the oppressors and how they are joined by the people in Odessa and later a naval squadron they encounter. To quote Eisenstein himself, montage is an idea that arises from the collision of independent shots even opposite to one another. For example, when residents of Odessa are paying their tribute to Battleship Potemkin, there is a shot featuring an upper-class woman. The next shot, however, focuses on a poor cripple with ragged clothes. Here, collisions between wealth and poverty, the able-bodied and the disabled, light and dark colors, higher and lower angles, etc., are shown. These conflicts convey powerfully that people are united in this revolution regardless of their individual differences. In Battleship Potemkin, montage is used in various ways. The first method used is rhythmic montage. In this method, the movement within the frame impels the montage movement from frame to frame, amplifying the cinematic rhythm. An example is the famous sequence at the Odessa Steps. The rhythm of this scene is supplied by downward motions. At first, the rhythm of the scene comes from the tempo in which the soldiers descend the stairs with their boots drumming against the ground, which is synchronized with the rhythm of the background music. Here, the cutting beat is often offbeat, with the rhythm of descent, creating a sense of tension and conflict. When the carriage starts rolling down the stairs, it takes the rhythm into a rolling descent, instead of a stepping descent. Here, the rhythm of the cutting is in accordance with the movement of the carriage, intensifying the tension, although the cutting pace doesn't necessarily accelerate in a mathematical pattern. The second method is tonal montage. It is mainly based on the dominant emotional sound of the scene, enhancing this emotional tone. Eisenstein theorizes that this emotional tone can be conveyed through the light tonality and graphic tonality of the scene. An example is the montage sequence of the foggy harbor before dawn. The shots of the harbor have similar light tonality. They all use high-key lighting and a grayish, hazy color in order to depict the mist. The emotional tone, a deep sense of grief and uncertainty for the future, is also consistent throughout the sequence. As the scene approaches dawn, the color changes from dark gray to misty white, creating a subtle emotional shift and transitioning smoothly to the next scene. Tonal montage is also able to intensify tension through the growing emotions conveyed in the scene. To quote Eisenstein, it is the internal reinforcement of a relentless dominant chord. In the long sequence where Potemkin approaches the squadron at night, the tension gradually builds up during the conflict between the tranquil sea and the vigilant sailors at watch, the man asleep and the sleepless. The unease is partly intensified by the yet invisible but approaching squadron. The last and the most abstract method we're going to discuss today is intellectual montage, in which intellectual concepts and messages are conveyed by the conflicts and juxtapositions of shots. In Battleship Potemkin, when a group of sailors are about to be shot, a priest appears and taps his cross against his palm. This shot is juxtaposed with the general stroking his sword. When the tapping is repeated for the second time, it cuts to the coat of arms of the Russian Empire and a trumpet in the hand of a sailor. This juxtaposition of shots powerfully conveys the intellectual message that the oppression comes from the Tsarist government along with the Russian Orthodox Church. The silent trumpet symbolizes the sailors' wish to rebel, which is currently repressed but might burst at any time. Another example of intellectual montage is the awakening of the lion statue. By cutting three still images together, Eisenstein produces motion artificially from static images, symbolizing the rise of the people against their oppressors. Montage not only exists between shots. Eisenstein theorizes that a shot is a montage cell, which, when pieced together, form an organic and dynamic sequence. Conflicts also exist within individual shots. They are the potential montage, which, like a series of explosions of internal combustion engines, propels the films to go forward and intensifies the conflicts between the montage pieces. Therefore, Eisenstein also studied ways to create conflict within a single shot. Here are a few examples. The first technique is called graphic conflicts. For example, in this shot, all the hammocks are oriented in different and conflicting directions. In this shot, the direction of the boy's body is in conflict with the direction of the stairs. Conflict of planes is also used in this film. In each of these shots, the mother is positioned in a lower plane than the soldiers, creating a contrast between their physical power. Eisenstein also creates conflicts in light, scale, tempo, etc. By creating conflicts within shots and using montage sequences, Battleship Potemkin is able to stir the emotions of the audience and convey the political messages powerfully.